Hello and welcome to Productive AF. I'm Chris, your tour guide through freelancer and content creator hell. As always, a better use of your time would probably be going and working on the thing you're putting off instead of watching this YouTube video. But if you want to learn about the Seller Success Score, let's talk about it. So, I'm Chris. I've been on Fiverr for many years. I am a top-rated and pro-verified seller. I make over $100,000 a year on the platform, and I have a perfect Seller Success Score of 10. So let's talk about why is there a seller success score? Well, Fiverr had a problem. And the problem is that pretty much everybody on the platform has a perfect 5-star rating. And that makes it nearly impossible for someone coming on looking for services to determine who should they get hire, who should they buy services from. Sometimes you'll see a 4.9. Occasionally, rarely, you'll see a 4.8, but because of the reciprocal nature of rating, where you give a public rating to the client, they give a public rating to you, people generally want to keep things at 5 stars for both, so that they don't look bad, so that they don't get some kind of a revenge rating against them if they decide to buy from that person again. So they implemented the private rating system, where after you rate your buyer or you rate your client, you can leave personal feedback or private feedback rather. The problem is most people are pretty good. People that are selling on Fiverr and getting to the higher levels and getting repeat clients, they're usually pretty good at what they do. And because of that, because there's so many good people, that wasn't really helping them do the ranking system either. So they tried a couple of other things. They tried adding 2 decimal points. So instead of, say, averaging out to 5 stars, you would average out to 499 or 497. And that wasn't really seemed to be working so well either. So they implemented the seller success score, and it pissed a lot of people off because they said, I have perfect ratings. My clients are very happy, but I'm still not getting those higher seller success scores. I have a 4, I have a 5. How do I have a 5-star review or average 5 stars, but I only have a 4 or a 5 in my seller success score? So there's a couple of reasons for this. One is that they don't just take into consideration your client's level of satisfaction. They also, because everybody is getting great reviews, they also extract opinions about how you're doing based on certain client behaviors. So for instance, if you have an order with a client and you fulfill it, it's on time, they're really happy about it, but they're doing their own thing. They've got their business. They get it. They say, oh, great. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly the voiceover, exactly the graphic design. I'm super happy. I'm going to go use it right now. And they don't close out the order, or they don't leave a review. Not leaving a review counts as client dissatisfaction, and not closing out an order counts as poor communication. So those things are going to be knocked against you. Even though they might be perfectly happy, that behavior is interpreted by Fiverr in the seller success score as not communicating well if they don't close it out, and dissatisfaction if they don't leave a review. So there are a lot of little things like that that are going to negatively affect your Fiverr seller success score that won't necessarily show up on any kind of public metric. It seems like a very opaque rating system, and they're trying to brand it as, oh, it's very transparent and we're trying to make things clearer, but they're really not giving us the full information, which can be very frustrating for a lot of people. The other thing that affects your seller success score is not necessarily how much money or how much ratings or how many positive ratings you're bringing in, but how are you ranking in accordance with everyone else in your niche. And that's not just in terms of, are you getting 5-star reviews? Are you getting good client feedback? It's among things like, how much money are you bringing in? How consistently are you booking orders? And those things are going to positively and negatively affect your Fiverr seller success score as well. So if you have 5-star reviews, if you're doing great and you're getting great private feedback and your clients love you, but you're not bringing in necessarily as much money as another person, or you're not getting as many orders, as high quantity of orders, that's going to count against your Fiverr seller success score as well. So it's not just how well are you doing in relation to how much your clients like you, it's how well are you doing in comparison to other people in your niche, the other sellers in your niche. And there's one other factor that I'm not certain affects the seller success score, but I'm pretty sure it does, which is how much money do you give Fiverr? It's how much money are you making them with their 20% commission, as well as the fees that the clients pay on their side. But how much are you giving them in addition to that, which I do believe has an additional factor. I can't prove this. I'm not sure. But for me personally, I'm in the Seller Plus program. It's $40 a month at this point. I don't love it. I don't think that they give necessarily the best advice when I go in for my consultations. I do really like being able to see what clients have rated other people, what their average buy is prior to booking with them. Because if they say want a $200 service, but they're saying, hey, how much is this going to be? And it's their average buy is $35. I know we're probably not going to be working together, so I'm not going to invest a ton of time trying to win this client over. Or if they have 10 buys on Fiverr and their average rating that they've given is, 3 stars, I probably don't want to work with them either. So I do like that aspect of it. But the fact that I am in the Seller Plus program, I'm giving them that $40 a month, as well as maxing out all my ad buys, which I think is a good idea in general. You get a great ROI on ad buys on Fiverr. But I have it set to up to $1,500 every month to spend on ads on Fiverr. It usually ends up around $1,000. But because I'm giving them that additional money, I do believe that gives me additional priority for a higher seller success score. Not positive on that, but it does seem to make sense. Fiverr is a business. So in the same way that getting to those higher levels before, things like if you want to get a top rated seller, they wouldn't necessarily tell you, but you were expected to have above a certain average order price. Now there's a lot of kind of hidden things behind the scenes that aren't necessarily advertised by them, but do in fact affect your seller success score. So how do you raise it? Well, I really feel the best way to raise it is, one, enroll in the seller success program, and up your ad spend, which is just good business anyway. The Fiverr ad spend ROI is generally really good. So I would take a look. I would do it for a month, max it out if you're able to buy ads on Fiverr, and just take a look at what you spent on ads, what you brought in from those ads, look at the ROI, and I think you'll be very happy and want to keep that high ad spend. But doing those things, as well as just making sure you provide more value to your clients than they are paying you for. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we as freelancers make is we look at a job and we say, how much is this job worth? How much can I get out of this job? Instead of saying, how much is a long-term relationship with this client worth? What is kind of the lowest amount that's going to make it worth my time, so that the next time this person needs this service, they're going to say, I'm not even going to look around. I'm going to go straight back to you because you provided great service, you provided a great product, and it was at a very reasonable price. So instead of looking at what is the amount I can get out of this job, it's what's the long-term value of this client. I think that is the best way, personally, just to run freelancing in general, but I also think that's the best way to increase your seller success score. If you don't want to lower your prices, if you don't want to do that, I completely understand. But if you're finding that what you're doing is not working, try a different strategy and see how that works. So thanks for watching. I hope you go out and crush it. I hope you have a great seller success score, or if you don't have one, I hope it goes up, and I'll catch you next time.